Hi, my name is Nadia Ghosheh. I'm the Latin teacher at Hayfield Secondary School, and I am the co-chair of the VJCL Equity Committee.
I'm Ghosheh Sinha. I'm an undergraduate at the University of Toronto, and I'm the other co-chair for the Equity Committee. So just a brief overview about what we're going to go over today. First, we're going to discuss how JCL has promoted discrimination in the past and in the present. Next, we will talk about why the VJCL Equity Committee was established, what work we do, and what steps you should take in case you're interested. So, just a quick introduction. As much as we love to celebrate Greek and Roman culture as well as Latin language, we're all here at convention, it is our responsibility to be aware of the ways in which praise for ancient Rome as a whole, as well as how JCL itself has perpetuated discrimination against a variety of groups, including minority and impoverished communities, and do our best to make amends for wrongs done. So, taking a look at the JCL Song and Creed, which currently is not being sung or recited at VJCL convention until it is fixed. When we glorify Rome in this way, as we can see in Glories of Old, Golden Past, as well as in Rome's Proud Steps, we gloss over the fact that we're indebted to Rome not only for some of our laws, literature, language, etc., but we're also indebted to them for a lot of our misogyny and codified disenfranchisement of women and minorities, as well as the perpetuation of slavery and dehumanization that was built into Rome's constitution, but subsequently also put into the US Constitution. In the phrase fosters brotherhood, we can see some gendered terminology here, but also terminology that could be interpreted as having connotations of white supremacy. And yes, while we are indebted to ancient civilizations, we need to be careful of saying such things because we are not only indebted to them for positive things, but also for a lot of disenfranchisement. So just a quick trigger warning for a passing but not explicit reference to sexual violence on the next slide. So there's a lot of inequity in contests, including in dramatic interpretation passages, where the girls' passage was a passage from Echo and Narcissus, and also a passage from Alice in Wonderland, an adapted English thing. And then the boys' passages were Sisyphus and a passage from Ab Orbit Condita. So the girls had an adapted passage that was originally written in English and translated into Latin, while the boys had real Latin. As well, the Ars Amatoria passage for the boys in 2019 was objectifying and misogynistic. So in the costume contest, historically, costume contests have been depicted as rape victims or misogynistic or problematic in other ways. For example, in 2019, the costume contest was Pygmalion and Galatea, where you have two people dressing up and being a couple, dressing up as a misogynist rapist and a sexualized and objectified victim of rape. So then we also have gendered categories, which has now been eliminated in VJCL, but with girls and boys categories perpetuating the gender binary. And also access to contests, where all contests at convention as well as Kertamina require both travel and expenses in order to participate. So there was an event that came up in the 1950s and still exists today. It was originally called the JCL Slave Auction, but it was renamed Rent-A-Roman after backlash in the 1990s. So you can see here quotes from the 1950s saying that it's a good activity and it's successful financially and socially. It helps people bond together. Obviously, you can see the issues in, students bonding together over the selling of other humans. And this perpetuates up until 2016 with an NBC article where a video was leaked to NBC of Illinois JCL's slave auction. So I'll just give you a minute to read these quotes if you wish to do so. So I will now pass it on to Ms. Ghosheh, who will discuss the Equity Committee.
Sorry. So in light of all the things that Karuna said, we decided that VJCL has to do something. And so we created this equity committee this past summer in June 2020. And here's what we're aiming to accomplish and our plans moving forward. So almost as soon as we started our committee, we realized we had a lot of work to do. And so we created 4 subcommittees in order to tackle all of the problems that we need to face. So first off, we have education and amends. Second, scholarships. Third, VJCL documents. And fourth, forum and discamus. We're going to go through these one by one. So the education and amends subcommittee, this very video is part of the education and amends subcommittee, which is pretty awesome that we've started here with, most importantly, education. And so their job is to inform VJCLers, teachers, SCLers, everybody about how Roman culture has been discriminatory and has been used to perpetuate discrimination throughout history. And we want to provide you all with resources to be proactive citizens. And so here is the subcommittee report. Our committee has been working on vetting Black Lives Matter resources to provide a trustworthy document to VJCLers and have many more projects in the works, including an informative video series about discrimination in JCL history. Because throughout my career as a teacher and through a lot of careers of other teachers and through student experiences, these are things we have historically not been talking about, and we need to now. The scholarships subcommittee, their job is trying to make all activities and opportunities available to as many VJCLers as possible, whether that be through scholarships or other means. Their report, our aim is to have scholarships ready for an in-person convention next year. So we've been looking at grants, courtesy of the wonderful Ghosheh Sinha, designing merch, and coming up with fundraising ideas. Hopefully we'll be seeing all these things in action next year. Our document subcommittee, their job is to look at old VJCL documents and evaluate their language to promote inclusivity and make sure that everybody has equal opportunities. Their report, our subcommittee has been working on pushing a new amendment to the VJCL Constitution that lowers financial barriers and plans on making more edits in the language of documents in the future. The Forum and Discamus subcommittee. This is creating a very special edition of the forum, which is going to focus on different experiences with VJCL and is going to brainstorm some more discamus topics. And the rest of the committee is also brainstorming additional discamus topics for next year that feature a plethora of different backgrounds and experiences. Their report, our subcommittee aims to make sure every voice and perspective of a VJCLer is heard. And we plan on doing that through the special edition of the forum, written for the students and by the students, and also create a discamus with topics they can resonate. So, speaking of the forum subcommittee, want to help their committee right now? The forum subcommittee wants to hear your experiences with VJCL and include it in a special edition of the forum. Okay, I've been saying the forum a lot recently. What is that? It's a publication that VJCL makes about 4 times per year. But we want to do a special edition of this publication, sort of in the feeling of a literary magazine, but with maybe some artwork, poems, etc. So we're looking for quotes, tweet size, paragraph size, an article if you're interested. We're looking for artwork. We're looking for creativity to showcase how you might have had your experiences in VJCL. Maybe you faced discrimination. Maybe you found inclusivity. Whether you've done any of those things or somewhere in between, we want to hear about your experiences in VJCL. There is the bit.ly link there, or you can click there at the click here button on the PowerPoint. And then maybe you want to join us. Maybe you want to take more action. Maybe you would like to join us on the equity committee. You can contact both myself and Karuna at those email addresses, ghosheh@fcps.edu, karuna.sinha@mail.utoronto.ca, and we would love to have you. We're welcoming everybody and anyone who is interested in joining our committee. And when you do join the committee, maybe you want to volunteer for a very specific subcommittee, or maybe you want to join all 4. You'll have those opportunities. And we'll put you in contact with the student leader and the adult representative of whatever committees or subcommittees rather that you wish to join. Thank you so much for watching this video, and a special shout out to Kaylee Chan, who is the student leader for Forum and Discamus, who created this PowerPoint.